Well, good morning. I started today by thinking I was going to be doing the aft seats, which double as flotation tanks, and I've already got the panels cut and I've got the wood ready to put the stringers on, and I thought I'd get the stringers on, and this afternoon one of my neighbours is going to come around and help me turn the boat over so I can work on the underside. So I thought, well, it's a bit messy in here. I'll just sweep up the sawdust and debris from some of the sanding I did last night on the floor. And I thought, well, just before I do that, I might as well just plane down these side panels which are standing a bit high. So I started planing those down. So I thought, shall I get this on video? Shall I video this? And I thought, well, it's something that'll take me 5 minutes. But one thing's led to another. And I've been doing this for like half an hour now, and it's. I thought I'd better quickly get the GoPro on and record something, because otherwise I'm going to get none of this on video at all. So you can probably see from all of these shavings in the boat and on the floor here that I've spent a little bit of time shaving this, and I've used a little hand plane that I bought, which is a little small plane, and I've just really gone over the edges like this to get rid of that little extra bit of height that was probably about ½ inch of this side panel, which was standing a bit higher than the gunnels. I couldn't get the gunnels to meet the top of the side all the way from stem to stern. That's had to be planed down, so I've done that now. And also last night I added this extra piece of 1/4 inch ply on top of the bow-knee here, because the gunnels here were coming up a little bit high. So I just put this extra 1/4 inch piece on top, and then this morning, I wasn't planning on doing this at all, but one thing led to another, and after doing the sides here, getting these almost level with the tops of the gunnels, I've kind of continued that sanding idea up, and I've just taken off the edges of this piece of 1/4 inch ply. So you can see there, the 1/4 inch ply is nothing almost. You can see the bit of glue there. And up here, that's a proper piece of 1/4 inch ply all the way up to the top. And a tiny bit of the gunnels have been sanded down. So that's exactly the effect that I wanted. So that looks beautifully rounded now. Looks really nice. And I didn't want to have to sand down through all of these gunnels, a full, 3/8 of an inch really. So I've only had to take, an eighth off the top of those to get all that all nice and flush. And I think once that's sanded, that'll look really good. And there's a couple of little pockets that need filling, but I think that's pretty good. So I'm quite happy with how that looks. That was a good idea. And that's just glued on. So now I'm going to have to crack on with the tidying up, and then get on with the job in hand, which was to look at the aft seat stringers. Okay, cracking on. So I'm just working on these aft seats, buoyancy tanks. So the buoyancy tanks, obviously if the boat fills with water, it would sink if it didn't have any buoyancy. So the buoyancy tanks are there to provide enough buoyancy to make it float even if it's full of water. So you can then bail her out and continue. So there's the one at the front and then there's two at the back. So you can see that one there, and then this one goes here like this. But obviously there's on the plans these are just shown as trapezoids, that shape, but all the lines are straight. And there's an 8mm offset here to allow for the curve of the side walls. So what I have to do is, these are straight, and I have to kind of try and shape the edge to be exactly right to fit along that curved side wall. And that's true for all of the parts, in some cases more than others, but the biggest curve is on this side wall here. It's not much, but you know, it's significant, so it just means really shaving off the end there and the ends here. And every boat is going to be different, so, but thankfully this one is symmetrical, and I've found that once I've shaped that tank seat top, I can just switch it round and mark on here in pencil where I want to shave it down to, and I can then just crack on with the surf form and do that. But it's quite warm work, so all I'm doing really is just shaving off millimetre by millimetre the edge until it's down to the pencil mark. So and that just involves putting the wood on one of these supports and surfing it down until it's the right shape. So as you can possibly hear, I'm a bit out of breath. It takes some effort. So after I've spent the day here doing this, or an afternoon and then the next morning, which I'm calling a day effectively, then the next day I can find it quite hard to get out of bed. All my body's aching, all my joints are stiff. It's hard work. It's hard physical work. Sometimes just, you know, when glassing all the seams, for example, you kind of just in a position where you're leaning over the boat at the same angle and your body's tense because you're leaning and you're trying to maintain a position, and so your back and your legs and your shoulders are all aching the next day. So I'm not complaining, it's just how it is, and it's better than going to the gym, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with this surf forming. So my trusty little Stanley surf form, it's been doing a great job so far, and yeah, let's crack on. Okay, well, as you can see, my neighbour Trevor came round and helped me turn the boat over. So I decided not to carry on working on the tanks and get them all glassed in, because once the boat is cut in half and we try and nest the front section and the rear section, the tanks form a very snug fit around that section, and because the tanks were looking a little bit bigger than I expected them to be, then I thought it would be sensible to wait and do those afterwards once the boat's in two pieces. And then I can mock up the tanks as I was doing there, and once they're mocked up and held in place with tape or glue, then temporary glue, then what I can do is try and nest the front section in there and see if there's any areas that look a little bit tight. And if it doesn't fit or won't fit, I can then adjust, sand down, plane down some of the seats to adjust them slightly so that the front section fits, because it would be a real shame to get them all glassed in and then find that the front doesn't fit, because then it wouldn't be a nesting boat anymore. So that is probably a crucial thing for me, really. So I decided not to do the aft tanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on with planing down and smoothing out the edges, the chines and the keel, and get those filled, get some filler on there where it's needed, fill all the holes, and then get them taped with fiberglass tape and the epoxy, so get them all taped up, and once that's cured, I'll turn it back the other way, and we can at that point cut her in half. Possibly I'll do the front tank, get that all 3 coats of epoxy inside and get all the bits glued in. I could possibly do that first, but I'd like to have a bit of a ceremony for the cutting in half, so summer's coming, maybe we can have a barbecue, so that would be good. So I need a couple of jobs to be getting on with while I'm waiting for a slot to become free when everyone can make it. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to get on with the chines and the keel, and then glass them on the underside, possibly sand down the underside of the gunnels as well. Probably even fill in, there's a little bit of a gap there, so maybe you can try and fill that in. But there's not a lot of today left, so a lot of this work will be waiting until next time, but I'll give it a start now.